So to start with Inspect 3 webinar, so Inspect 3 is our latest release, is Inspect 3.0. So don't worry, we will not just talk about Inspect 3. We will take you to the journey how they inspect so far, and also the live demo about the Inspect 3.0. Okay. So today, as a speaker, myself Ritesh, I'm a product manager, and also Monica from UK. She's in her early morning now, and then like all of you. So we are kind of working on the Inspect for last 3 years since the inception of the product. And then both of us will be talking certain parts of the Inspect. So I'll take you through the journey of Inspect so far, and then Monica will jump in to do the introduction on 3.0 plus live demo on some of the functionality. Stay there, hang in there for an entire presentation. There are certain good things towards the end, so don't talk. Okay, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be very helpful. Okay. So this is the overview of today's agenda. Introduction, we'll go to the value proposition of Inspect, right? And some solution overview so that you know what Inspect is capable of doing so far. It's a lot of stuff there. Then we'll dive into the Inspect new, what's new functionality we have released in Inspect 3.0, some live demo, and then towards the end, we will take the Q&A. So the introduction is now, so let's dive into the understand that like the inspection world, how it has been until now, and then like still digitalization is still happening, but still we can see that there is a lot of manual workflow still happening around. People like inspectors are still going into the field with pen and paper, sometimes the printouts from the Excel document, and then filling out those forms or checking those checklists. And then coming back again to the office and then digitizing them, or like filling out those Excel again back into the office. So that's still happening. It's not completely gone, and that is where we want to see the future along with the Inspect, that like use Inspect on your day-to-day inspection process and then make it even more digital. So the data capturing what is happening from the field, it is still scattered. It's still there is still massive fragmentation, and then still the data has captured from different devices, different software, some Excel, Word for creating report, storing your files on the Dropbox or any other storage devices. So we can still see that the data is still not all together when you need it, right? So at the end of the inspection, the report is not the only thing. So report, yes, that's the one you need to submit it. But what happens after that? If someone wants to go back and then see the data of the inspection, it's still not that easy to look at one place and then see how was the inspection done, what was the data captured at that point of time, what was the condition of the asset, right? And then to do that, it's not easy. I would not say it's not doable. But you have to dig into a lot of different things. If you're done the discussion with your lead inspector or contractor on using any of the messaging app, it will definitely not possible to look back on all those details. And because of this, there is a lot of data loss, right? Whatever conversations has happened between you and your other inspectors or the leads, on any messaging app, it will be lost. Like you cannot keep them forever if you leave the company, and then the inspection was done by you, and then like everything gone along with you. So as an inspection company, if they want to see the data which was captured by a certain inspector back in that time, it's kind of a lot of data loss happens, right? So that's also is the major thing. Why? Because data is a new oil. So with the data, we know that today how people are like dealing with the data, how they are using the data for the predictive maintenance, when we have to do the next maintenance, what kind of defects were there in the asset when you did the inspection, and then based on that history, when the next inspection cycle should be or how much my cost of maintenance was 5 years back and now. So these kind of the relations you can make it only when you have a lot of data. And if this data is not at one place, it will be even more impossible to get some meaning out of this data. And this entire data is a key to the digitization. So if you have a meaningful data, more accessible data at one location, you can digitize the entire workflow. And by doing that, you can even make some analysis out of this data, and then like make sure that like your company is moving towards the digitization of your inspection processes. So this is how we see a complete the goal is to digitize the whole workflow, not just like a one step, but right from your job preparation when you are in the office preparing for the inspection project, what needs to be done, what kind of data needs to be captured from the job site, who should be working on that job site, like making your inspector and contractor teams, and what needs to be collected from the job site, right? In which standardized format. That's important stuff, and then that has to be digitized. Like you cannot like keep creating these forms and printing it out and taking it to your inspection site. Once you digitize the first part of job preparation, the field data acquisition is the important stuff, where you actually go into the field, acquire all the data from the field in terms of photos, videos, the notes which you will be taking to write down what are the conditions you are observing on the site, right? So all this data is important, and then it has to have a location information, where it was captured, when it was captured by whom, right? All these conditions are equally important. So decide all these things and then do the data processing, so that you can meaningfully generate a report which is even more customizable. So the data processing also can be happen very easily if you have first two steps, you digitized it properly in a proper way. Once the data processing is done, you can go ahead and then prepare for the reporting, which is the main goal for any inspection procedures, right? Or the outcome of any inspection is the report. So once you come into this digitized workflow, right from start to the end, you are kind of like using one single app to do all these things, completely digitize your workflow, and that will save a lot of time and increase your revenue, as well as it's kind of a massive headache for the inspector to do some repetitive stuff. So it will increase the efficiency of your team, and by that way it will save some time plus money, and you can increase the revenue. Or also you can do more project if you digitize your workflow, where if you're completing 100 projects in a year, maybe you will be capable of doing double the project with the same inspection team if you digitize it, rather than doing everything in a manual process. With that, we'll just look at some of the value propositions, what we see as an inspector. Okay, so the mission for us, like really the mission for the screening eco technologies is to protect the built world. To support that mission or to achieve that, what we have a foundation of, we have softwares, we have sensors, and we have the better representation of data on our web platform like Workspace and Inspect Web. So Inspect value proposition is like a major improvements to the productivity. So these are coming from our current customers who are using Inspect on day in, day out. And these are some of the value proposition they see, that is the major improvements in their productivity and reduction in the labor cost. And obviously the resources what they need to use earlier for a particular inspection. So, and with that, it is also achieving the standardization of data management because the data capturing happening along with the specified forms with structured input that allows analytic to data-driven business decisions, right? So these are the two main value propositions why you should be using inspect, and then where really you want to achieve certain stuff in your organization, then you have to get into this workflow management software. There are some key differentiator. You might see certain other softwares also in the market, but we kind of have a whole ecosystem of software plus sensors plus the data. So we have some pre-configured and also fully customizable forms or the report templates by user, right? So we provide certain pre-configured, which is already there based on your asset type, what you are inspecting, whether it's a road, building, tunnel, breach. So we provide a set of data for you, which we have understood from the industry. You can localize, the location is at core for everything, because every inspection, whatever your findings are, need to have the location information that where it was happened, so that you can go back and then see whether it's still there or it's improved or it is deteriorated, right? That's the reason that location is important. If you have thousands of photos, but you don't know where the photo was taken, then all those photos are useless. That's why we kept location is at center of core of inspect. Whatever you do, you have to put the location first where it is, and then you provide all other information. At the end, again, one-click reporting. I'll talk more on that, and integration into a whole inspection technical system, which is sensors and softwares, and then some of the advanced technology what we have. Let's go a little deeper into each of these, and then what is features and what are the value drivers for that particular feature. So pre-configured, flexible, configured data capture, right? And then like reporting templates to specify client standards and requirements. So this feature is about like you can configure the right bottom side. You can see the screenshot screen from the laptop. So that one, like where you configure entire your input fields. Also, you can configure your report template, the way the report has to be generated, and then look and feel, and then what details needs to be included in the report. You can configure all these things, and then like once the inspection is done, you can generate those reports from the report field itself. So integrate is the value driver over here is integrated seamlessly into your business process, because it is not dependent on any of particular business type, right? So it can seamlessly fit into any of your requirement, the inspection requirement, I would say. What kind of inspection you are doing, you can configure the software in that way, and then it will deliver the value for you. As I mentioned, whatever you are observing, every observation and data capture point has a location always, and it has to be. And that's the way on this floor plan on the right bottom, you can see again the floor plan with the big eagle in the red. So if I want to see that what has happened into that particular cubicle, and if I only have the photos of those surrounding, it will be difficult for me to identify on this entire floor plan where exactly the photo was taken, unless and until it has this pin location. So every like even year after year, if you want to you go there, you will always see that like how the data was captured at that particular location. So this is like very intuitive for any new inspector. 5 years back, you were having some other inspector, now you have some other inspector, but nonetheless, once they go into the app, they tap on it, they see all the information, they try to make out what has happened that time. Okay. One quick reporting, create informative report instantly and directly from the field. Right after your inspection is done, you can generate a report, and it will not take more than 1 or 2 minutes to provide you the report. This is a massive value. We have seen that like people are collecting the data for a day and then preparing the report out of it for 4 days. Our current average is like for 1 day of inspection, it takes 3 to 5 days of reporting. All the data collection from here to there, putting it to the Word, putting the photos, resizing them, putting down all the notes, and then preparing a report, right? So that entire 3 to 5 days of work is minimized. 1 day of inspection, after 1 day of inspection, you click on it, report, generate it, and share it. So that reduces your reporting time by a huge factor, right? And spend more time in the field. So you can concentrate more on the the important stuff, which is the data capture, and then less worry about the reporting stuff, which is the case right now is exactly opposite. Inspector are out, they are capturing the data, and then they have, the headache comes in when they have to start creating a report. So with Inspect, we have kind of removed that barrier. Integration into the full workflow. Right now with Inspect 3.0, Monica will show and then talk more about it. So with checklist, now you can digitize entire your workflow. Make sure nobody in your company misses an important steps, or if someone is going for the inspection and if you want them to do certain things in a particular way, before going there, like whether it's a safety hazards or whether it's a pre-inspection checklist, that you do these things and then only start inspection. So all these things are now configurable beforehand. And then as per your own requirement, you can have multiple options in terms of answer yes, no, or multiple options, or you can even put a text box to write them down their answers. So it's a lot of configuration there. I think Monica will talk on that. And then the advanced technology, what we have in Inspect in terms of LiDAR scans, indoor positioning. So outside you can use GPS, but if you are on a massive floor plan and if you want to locate where you are, and then make sure that you are covering the entire floor to do the inspection. So that is what our indoor positioning will help you to map yourself indoor, and then you start inspection, and then all the photos what you will be taking, it will be attached to your floor plan based on your location. Our AI defect detection can identify the cracks from the photos, and then you can color code those cracks, which will be available in the report afterwards. This level, like all these things, the latest technology is leveraging the latest innovations in the inspection tech. It's kind of all Apple stuff. So we have the LiDAR, we have the AI kit. So all these things, we are continuously evolving and then continuously looking for what's coming and what next technology coming in the market and how best we can utilize that for the inspection tech industry, so that you are always ahead of the industry. And then if you are on the Inspect, you are always using the latest tech from the industry. And that is not just like using the latest tech, how meaningfully we are adding that tech into the Inspect and making sure that like this increase your efficiency, boost your data quality. So that's how we are putting that. So that's all about the value proposition on Inspect. So to the next one, I will do the poll before we jump into the Inspect 3. I will just launch a poll now, and then the poll is about like what you would like to see in the next webinar, or maybe if you want to see if you want us to teach something. If you don't know how to use Inspect, and we can have a hands-on. So just go through. There are only 3 questions. You can choose multiple, or you can choose one as well. And then we will see how best we can come up with our next webinar. So I'll just put this screen, put this one for a couple of minutes, and then once done, we will stop it. Okay, just for a minute, we will keep it there. And then in between, when you are choosing your options, you can also write down questions so far from the presentations. If you want to understand more, if you are not understand, so those are the things you can see. Okay, so thank you for providing your feedback over there, and also I can see certain questions coming in. I'll keep it there. I'm not going to answer right now directly. So we will see those questions toward the end, so that others also can get more information about those questions, and then what information we have. So just a quick solution overview. Inspect is available on the Mac and iPad and mobile through a web browser, right? So these are the platform, and then like Inspect so far is all about location. So that is what I mentioned, that location is the important thing. One-click reporting, that's the key feature of Inspect, where you save massive amount of your time for preparing a report. Dynamic dashboard we have. So it gives you a clear visibility of what's going on in the field, and this is available across our platform. Someone is doing the inspection from the field. Another person sitting in the office can see the data coming in, and then they can already make a sense of those stuff. I can see the raised hands one, but I would definitely encourage you to put a question there. I am afraid of allowing to talk so that we can go smoothly. Sorry for that. You can just type a question and definitely I'll come back to you. Okay. So dynamic dashboard. 360 images with Inspect with the assisted capture workflow, which was the question there in our poll just now. So you can capture 360 images in Inspect. You can do the assisted capture, or without that as well. You can have 360 images. We support certain cameras, and it is there, so you can see that like the video is playing for the 360 photo. So indoor navigation, that's what I would say, like you can look at yourself and then you can see those small green dots on that floor plan. All those were the photos taken automatically located on your floor plan when you're walking after starting this indoor positioning. Okay, so this is the quick video of my colleague who is walking in the office, and on the left top of the iPad, you can see that's the floor plan. And now he's walking, and then you can see that the photo is taken automatically where he was. And you can take manual photo, or you can set it to automatically take photo for every 1 meter or 4 meter or 5 meters. So depending on your needs. So you can see that that's like automatic. So you just walk into your premises, set this indoor positioning, and then walk around your apartment or whatever you are inspecting and go out. All the things are whatever you have captured, it will follow your path and it will have all the photos taken along it. And then you can make sense out of it and then prepare your report or convert them into spot and then add more data. This is sensor data. You can link our existing, so Screening Eagle Technologies, the software and sensor company. So we have a lot of sensors. And then that data, the data coming from our sensors can be integrated seamlessly into Inspect. And then you can visualize and also have this data into your report. So you can combine your visual plus entity inspection together into one single report. Defect digitization. So that's how the crack, we digitize it with color coding. You take a photo and then run our AI algorithms, and then we identify the cracks, and then you will have a lot of settings there. If you really want to see a very minute crack or just the crack which are very big, so you can set different settings, and then we will be able to identify those cracks through our algorithms. Last, but the most important is the customization. The software is fully customizable. You name it, and then we can say that, okay, yeah, you can use it for that particular inspection. So it is not meant for any particular inspection type. You can do any kind of inspection using Inspect, and then that's how the customization work. So with Inspect, we say that like when you think about inspection, you should think about the first name should come, that Inspect. So that's how we want to position the Inspect. So with that, I will hand it over to Monica for showing you what are the cool stuff we have done for Inspect 3.0 and also the live demo. So over to you, Monica, and then to the participant, please keep banging, flooding the questions, and we'll be happy to take them towards the end. Over to you, Monica.
Thank you very much, Ritesh. So hi, everyone. I will be talking a little bit more about Inspect 3.0 and what's new in there. So Ritesh, next slide, please, if you may. Next slide. So what we have done in Inspect 3.0, we have introduced quite a couple new features. You might have already seen the improvement on 3D scans done with Inspect. So all you need is a new iPad with the LiDAR functionality in there, and you can create realistic 3D models, which are also measurable with your Inspect. We have introduced new workflows, which allows to capture data, right, in a checklist type of way. We have also introduced a multi-asset overview and folders. So when you start gathering more and more data, and you have you want to organize them in a good way, you can use the overview and the folders. And also in 3.0, we have introduced integration with the new Profometer PM8000. So these are the main new features. And if you can go into next slide, please. If we look a little bit more into detail into each. So here, if you can play the video, Ritesh, please. What this allows to do, the enhanced 3D reality capture, is to capture any type of built or existing infrastructure, or a building, or a floor, anything you see around you which you need the measurement of and the 3D scale of. So by quickly turning on the capture feature, you can capture a realistic and measurable model. In this case, we have a trench example, which allows us to assess the current conditions of any point in time. The main benefits for this is that you don't need to have an expensive LiDAR solution with extensive training, which usually is needed in order to be able to use such devices. And it really allows you to capture a digital twin of any environment. What this also does, it automatically saves a 2D view based on the scan, which you can then use in a way with assisted capture, the feature Ritesh mentioned previously, indoor mapping, or just creating the spots on. So these are the main features. Next slide, Ritesh, please. Thank you. The other very big and exciting feature we have released in Inspect 3 is checklists. So what this allows you to do is, first of all, to fully customize a checklist in Inspect Web. It's very straightforward, similarly like a spot editor. If you're familiar with it, you can choose what questions you want answered in checklists and how they are answered, right? You can share these checklists with your colleagues, and also you can create the reports from them. The main benefits of using checklists or workflows is that you can support your specific workflow in your organization. It's fully customizable, so you can adapt it to any way of working you need. And one-click reporting again saves huge time for generating a report. Next slide, please. So here you can see, okay. The other feature in Inspect 3 is multi-asset overview and folders. Ritesh, if you can play the video, please. Thank you. So the main feature here is the data management of it, right? You can see all of your assets on the map. If you have them in specific folders, those folders would contain the map or tiled view also, and would update based on what it is contained in that folder. So the main benefits of it is that you can organize your projects and assets in a way you see fit, and it allows you to gain a really quick overview of all of your projects. So this seems to be a feature which was needed a lot, right? By people being able to organize their data in the right way. All right. So the third new feature is the Profometer integration. So again, highly requested feature previously. With the release of new PM8000 Pro, we have enabled it in a way that once you use Inspect, and if you have a Profometer, you use that, you can add this data in the same way as you currently would do it with other sensors, right? So you can pull the data from Profometer, visualize it along any other information you need with your customizable spot template or report template, and then finally generate the report in minutes. These are the main points. Yeah, and we will have a better look in a live demo now. So I will share my iPad screen and I'll walk you through these features. All right, you should see my iPad screen now. All right, so as mentioned before, first of all, there's a little bit of a new look with Inspect. In here, I am in my All Assets folder. I can look at it in tiled view, list view, and map view. So here, all my assets are around. We've got an asset in Singapore. We've got some assets in UK and in Europe. Now, if I go to my Germany assets folder, and I go to map, it zooms straight in. Same for the UK assets folder. There are a couple other new features I would like to show today. So I will create a new asset to showcase that. So say I've got an asset in here. I can create it from the map view. I can give it a name as usual. I will choose that this is a building asset type. And one of the new improvements we have done is being able to import assets template. So how does this work is that once you choose an asset type, building or bridge or tunnel, it will pull up an option to be able to import spot templates, report templates, and checklist templates from previously created assets. So choose this one, and I'll create it. Now, what happens that this allows me to not need to copy and paste the templates. I have this project created straight based on previously created assets. All right, so now what I'll do is I will show you already created one, which has a couple of spots. As you know, we've got an option to create spots on map, 2D view, and 3D view. And the new feature, which we have recently introduced, are workflows, which are based mainly on a checklist. So I have preset a checklist example before. I'll showcase you how this works. So here I've got inspection checklist example, right? And I have 3 sections in here. Again, the checklist can have different questions. First of all, you can have multiple selection fields. So in this case, I'm inspecting a floor, and the question is select locations with holes in the floor. So I'm saying that there are some in lobby area, corridor, and basement. I can have a single selection field, overall size of the holes in this case. So I'll say medium. And the other point which I can also do is I can specify the location of my inspection point. So that's the third option. And I can specify those points on all 3 different digital twins, whether it's map view, 2D view, or 3D view. So in this case, I'll use a 2D view, and I will say that I have holes in here, 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 here. I click done, and this will show up later on in the report. Also, I can have yes and no answers. So in my section number 2, I'm inspecting cracks. And I can say whether water leakage was found on this location or not. I can also add additional information. Say, found a leak. I can add an image if I want as an extra media data. And also I can add an existing spot, right? So in this case, I will say, here is my spot, which contains the crack. I click done. This will also show up in report later. Again, another question, for example, yes and no answer for cracks. I can also add signature. Go. Inspector. I can have couple signatures, right? J. Maybe manager needs to approve it too. I click done. Now I have filled in my checklist, which again can contain different things. It all depends on how you preset it, right? It can ask you to go and inspect cracks, or it can even say, for example, walk you through the process of making sure that you have taken all the tools on site, right? Have you got your battery set? Have you have your profometer ready? Have you got charging cable with you? Have you got other things which you need for this job? So the checklists are very powerful in a way that, first of all, it can guide you through the workflow of your job, which can be preset by your organization or yourself. Right, so here I clicked done for this checklist, right? I can assign it to different people. And here it says when it's created and who is created by. I can also generate a report of this checklist. And generate it. So this usually, as you know, takes about 10 seconds to do. Again, taking all the data from the spot we have added, the checklist, all the answers we have done, and all the images we have added into it. So again, it allows to really quickly walk through the workflow. Please proceed asking more questions in the chat. We will be answering them in the Q&A session. Yeah. So now I have generated this checklist based on my project. And here is all the information and answers we have done. In the first section of the floor section, we have all the answers. We have the location points which we have added. We have the extra media we had added in the crack section, a picture, description, found the leak, right? And also we have the link to the spot, refer to spot number 3. So here in appendix, we attach the spot number 3, which we have attached to this checklist, which contains all of this data. So here is a quick overview of the checklist and the main new features. I think that is the part of the demo, and I guess, Ritesh, we can join into a Q&A session.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, Monica, for the detailed demo. I hope it was helpful for the participants. If not, you can reach out to us, and then we'll be happy to make your life more painful from the inspection, capturing the data, and then making a report. Okay, so with that, I guess from our side, the presentation is done. I'll just see some of the questions and read it out so that, because I know you guys cannot see the questions. From Andre, I can see to perform LiDAR 3D scan, which type of iPad is needed? iPad Pro. Yeah, Monica, maybe you can answer. It's 3D scan.
Yes.
So yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. You would need an iPad Pro starting from 12, right, all the way up. So yes, you would need an iPad Pro, which contains the LiDAR functions, right? Or it has to easily also have a look. Usually you have this little camera in here, so it has to have 3 cameras and that little white dot, right? That's where the LiDAR comes from. So once again, LiDAR Pro, 12 and upwards.
Yeah, so it's just out of the box. You don't have to buy very expensive cameras to do it. So just buy one iPad Pro, and then that's it, done. From another question from Seema, is it possible to detect also the floor state? If I understood correctly, if floor state, are you talking about? Maybe you can ask more questions when I'm giving the answers. If it is not that what you meant, floor state in terms of like you can do if you are talking about the cracks, yeah, like that. That's one you can identify either from the floor or from the wall. Doesn't make any difference. But if you want to see your floor state in terms of the rebar or any other or void or any other stuff or those kind of defects from your floor, then we have certain instruments in terms of GPR, Pandit, the profometer. So you can use these our sensor devices to get to know your floor state. So that's kind of a combination of our visual plus the entity inspection. I hope that is what you meant. If not, then you can ask the follow-up questions and we'll be happy to answer that. The next one from Nele is like, what happens to the result measurement of a colleague who no longer work for the company? Can you still access the result if the license of the person is closed? Very good questions. There are multiple answers I can give. One is for the what happens. So data, whatever you are capturing with Inspect or any other our devices, will always lifelong stays there, even your license expired. It will be, you will be still able to access it through a read-only mode. Means you will not be able to modify the data, but you will still have the access to the data. Now the second question, in terms of measurement, even a colleague A has taken a measurement and he has attached those measurement data into the Inspect, and a colleague B is using Inspect, he can view the measurement, and when he clicks on the measurement, that measurement will get copied or imported into a colleague B. So then you can own that measurement. Even colleague A leaves, his account is locked, you do not have access or password to his account, nothing to worry. As long as this link between that sensor measurement into the Inspect is done, then in Inspect it will stays forever. Can you make custom drawings of the structure if you have also measured destructively? You want to answer, Monica, this one?
Sure. So if I understand the question correctly, right? In Inspect, you can add any drawings and add any sensor data from screening area like GP, PD, and the new profometer and GP app, right? Also Schmidt. If you do some measurement destructively, you can set your templates to be able to accommodate the measurement for it. So if I'm not, excuse my ignorance, right? I'm not very familiar with the destructive methods of testing, but in your spot template, you could say, what is my measurement result? And then you could type that measurement result into Inspect spot, right? Which would show the exact information and then generate a report from it. Hope that answers the question.
Thank you, Monica. Yeah, go ahead, please.
Maybe I'll take up the drone question too, if you don't mind, Vitesh. So another question is, can we use drone cameras like Sony RX1 photos? My clients use Pix3D photogrammetry. Can they export data from Inspect to photogrammetry software and vice versa? Okay, so first of all, let me tell you about the other feature Inspect contains. We haven't actually highlighted it properly today. You can take an OBJ model of photogrammetry derived mesh and import it to Inspect. Then start creating all your spots on it, add images, and do your inspection. You can export any images from Inspect, or in general, you can export raw data from Inspect and then take all those images, if they are captured in a photogrammetrical way, right, with the overlap and everything, you can then use it wherever you want. Okay, hope that also answers it.
Yeah, so Seema, I think she has a follow-up question. So for the floor state, I mean, for indoor navigation, is it possible to localize? So for the way indoor positioning, indoor navigation works is floor wise. So you are on the first floor, you calibrate yourself for the first floor, and then you walk around the entire first floor. Then you will be able to locate yourself. But if you go basement or if you go second floor, then you have to recalibrate yourself for that particular floor plan. So it's a floor to floor. So that's how it works, the indoor navigation. I hope that answers your question. The next one, great. Thank you for the appreciation, Fedel, and then we'll be happy to provide more. For NS, I think he asked, does it calculate measurements also? If you're talking about measurements, if it is cracks, then you can give the reference length and we'll be able to calculate. Otherwise, you can dimension the crack by yourself in terms of width and the length. We have given that ability. So we detect the crack. Post-processing of the crack is still worked on, and then we will be adding more defect types like spalling and corrosion. So those will be also coming in future. So when we'll be able to take photo, we will be identifying multiple defects from the photo. So that's there. So just to give, like while we are waiting for a couple of questions, so just to give you an overview of the inspect users or customers right now. So we have customers across the world right now, the Europe, UK, US and Asia. So if you want to learn more from others, how they are using Inspect, what kind of inspection projects they are doing using Inspect. So you can reach out to us. There are no any particular, as I mentioned, Inspect is fully customizable. So you can customize it as per your need and then use it for any particular time. Thank you and have a good day, good evening. If you are on the UK, Europe, have a good rest of your day. And thank you, Monica.